but I would rather have good quality pictures. This is just somebody sitting there with their cat having a breakfast, doing yet another panorama.
Hey everyone, I am Steven with Steven Photos. I'm here to help agents win more listings, editors edit better photos, and photographers take better pictures. How am I going to do it? Let's go Zillow fishing.
The map of America, random select. So we're going to be going into Albuquerque today. And then we're going to just find some little dots to look at and click on them and see what they look like. So first off, we're going to click on and actually bring up the full view. First of all, I do not like that they have a panorama from their phone as their first starting image. Now you have to use what you have to work with, and I understand that, but sometimes the ratios are off, and if you're clicking on things through your phone or anything like that, just going back and forth like this, you can see how inconsistent this is and jarring. So some may want to think about that. And once again, I am just here to try and help out agents, editors, and photographers to better themselves. I am not the authority on this. I am just trying to help. This is only my opinion. So let's take a look at this. Also, the panorama has made it to where it is a small image. Now, some MLSs only allow a certain size. That is not the case here because normally it would at least fill the screen for that. So let's take a look at some of the images. So we started with, I'm guessing this is the front. So you're going to be parking over here going in. This actually looks more commercial than it does residential. So this may be the case. On to the next picture, which shows snow and some logs. Maybe this is parking. I'm not sure. And then this is just a blizzard for a completely different house. Do you see how we have started out wrong? And if this has been on market for a long time, I would just simply change the order of operation of things, just showing different things to show off the house. This is a great shot of the house. Why is this not the first one? So I am not sure what happened there, but going back inside and vertical, I understand you are trying to show off the high ceilings and all of those things, but a vertical image is not helping here. I can also tell that this is just a regular iPhone picture taken at night, just by the way it is. I'll go over that later. Once again, they've attempted a panorama inside. These little distortion lines may be from that, or it may just be splitting. I am not sure on that, but there's something weird going on right here in this picture for me. So a lot of cool scenery. They're just trying to, which they should be doing. I mean, they should be showing it off. This is a really cool house. It deserves professional photos. Now, maybe the agent, well, so here's a strange thing. Let's go back over this. So we're starting here and going in, and we see, these couple pictures, and then into 20 something, we have these same pictures over again. I'm not sure why you would want to do the same pictures over and over again. Maybe they're just trying to get to 50 to fill the space, but I would rather have good quality pictures. This is just somebody sitting there with their cat having a breakfast, doing yet another panorama. You have gotten the point about this random selection. This was a good start. Let's go find another one. That one's farmland. I am never going to talk bad about farmers, even if it is their agent's fault for listing their house improperly. Let's switch to some lower end housing. So I say lower end. It could be very high end considering places. Let's go to another state. Random select Dallas. So Dallas should have a very saturated market of homes with great photos because there are a ton of real estate photographers in this area. So if you're in either one of these areas, you should have professional photos no matter what. So looking over here, I can tell some of them will be professional photos and some of them won't. for example, this one does not look professional, and look at how much it stands out amongst the others. So if we click on this one, which I can tell right off the bat actually does not have professional photos. If they are, they need to come and see me. So, but let's go over it. Click on it. Nice, fills the screen. So that means that, you know, they're sizing things correctly for MLS, which is a good sign to start off. It's a great sky, maybe a really good sky swap, but I'm not going to be able to tell. So it is a professional photographer, but they need a little bit of work on how they're doing things. So how I can tell it's professional, one, their verticals are absolutely perfect. And by verticals, I just mean that they are not wonky in any way. So I made this example. So see how these blinds and everything don't line up and it looks kind of strange. Well, I thought I had it pulled up good. So if we go from cattywampus and weird to perfectly vertical and straight, see how it corrects it and it looks nice, distorted and all that. So this would be incorrect and this is correct. And you can tell the difference right off the bat that one is professional and one is not. So this is a professional photographer, because no normal person, unless they have just watched a tutorial on YouTube about it, would not take this amount of time to make sure your verticals are correct. But we have a little bit of an issue. We'll try and spot out a reflection to see what they're on. I would guess this is a tripod just because it's a dark place, but I'm not sure what type of camera. They may have an issue with the camera and they don't think that it would work. Other than that, I mean, things are going pretty good. Nice natural edits. No big jump in discoloration corrections or anything like that, and I'll explain that later. So yeah, no reflection shots. So, I mean, that's the only thing I could say about it, is that it's a little bit dark, which, I mean, it was an overcast kind of day, but still can't tell if it's a sky swap or not. By a sky swap, I mean, this has been replaced with a different sky. I mean, this kind of looks like a darker sky over here, and then this is nice and blue. There is a little bit of darkening of these leaves, but these look really good, so it's hard to tell nowadays. But yeah, so this should be a lot lighter and try and match this. But maybe they're definitely just trying to show that this is a darker house, and they're just trying to get that point across, which I respect. I think you should not show random bright houses when it's darker. Let's go to this one. All right, good size. So here's what we are looking for right now, and this is textbook right now so far. So just your first image. This is exactly what you're going to see when you walk up. No surprises there. Both sides. It's as if I shot this, and I did not. I do not live in this area. So this looks great. Let's take a look inside. Looks pretty good. Don't see anything that jumps out other than it looks like they may have a lower end camera, or maybe they're shooting on their iPhone, just because the darks are not being picked up and the detail isn't quite there. But I mean, the picture looks good, so there's nothing wrong with what they're shooting it on. The only people that are going to notice what I just noticed are other real estate photographers. So go with what you are doing here, because this looks great. There may be a little bit of color correction over here that needs to be addressed, but I believe this to be good images. There's a little bit of, it's like they're running a noise reduction incorrectly. I don't know why that would impact it, but yeah, this looks good. They're leaving the color cast, so when you walk into this room, you know that this is exactly what this room is going to look like, and that is key, and I love it. Keep doing what you are doing. These are great. No reflection catches in either of the windows. Nice park across the street or something, just showing the lay of the land. That was good. Yep, that's what you should look for in real estate photography. The next step up would just be a higher quality camera. So randomly, let's go to a different place. Different state. Right. Wisconsin. There's going to be a lot of snow up here, I'm guessing. If we look over here on the side, we're going to just quickly... Okay, so here's something that we need to talk about. As real estate photographers, we're trying to include every possible thing we can to sell you the property and all those things. Now, one thing is a day to night twilight conversion. First, as an agent, please stop. Nobody is looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. This really got my attention. Now, it got my attention because all I see, and here's why this is incorrect. This is not the photographer's fault. This is not the agent's fault. I am talking to the editors right now. And I understand that you as an editor did all you could with this. And you did a great job with the windows and the sky. This sky is magic right now because all you can see is this little bit of purple. But let's be realistic right now. The sun is just directly overhead and it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever time it may be there. And all of this stippling, so you should not have done this, even though it's probably just a part of your package as a photographer. Like, you do day to night conversions on every listing, and that's how you get the listing, and I understand that. But as an agent, you should have said, hey, on this one, can we go back and actually do a twilight? Because this house is adorable, and it really does need to show off what is there. So let's go and look at the real image that they gave the editor. So they did do a very good job, and I commend the editor for the job they did, but as you can tell, I mean, they just darkened it just a little bit. Now, they didn't want to Photoshop too much of the stippling out. This could be taken care of, but nobody's got time for that. Just go back. Now, let's go look at the rest. The rest, everything is looking great. I love this little porch view. I like it when people do close-ups of the front porches and things, so that's always a good and a plus. This could get bad in a hurry because these images look amazing, but as once again, this is not the photographer's fault. This is not the agent's fault. This is the editor's fault. And we are going to go over why this is an issue real fast. Now, unless these lights are super daylight balanced and there's some kind of special paint that I am unaware of in this house, this color in here is what this room's colors should look like. Now, we're going to go to the kitchen, and I'm going to probably, so, okay. Now, this has been, okay. We'll find a better example of this later. They're actually doing okay. These editors they've been doing this forever, and this is actually, it's a pretty good edit. But if this place had some furniture, we may be talking a different tune. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this whole thing, but let's go to another one. All right. Nice, fills the screen, so that's good. This looks good. This is a different sky, and how I can tell are these little leaves are not popping out. They're just kind of fading into the sky. And here's another, this cloud does not move. That's a telltale sign. All right, and so we have it again. Maybe this place just has one photographer with one editor, and it's the same editor, which looks great. They are actually doing a little bit of color separation here, so that's good. But these cabinets are all the exact same color, so that's a little strange. They're doing what they can with these window pulls, so that's good. So as a photographer, here's where you could do a little bit better. So if you're going to be doing single point, which is what this is called, do you see how this little spot is more narrow than this spot, but for some reason this is a little bit more level? So if you're doing single point, let's keep it to single point and not go into any kind of angle at all. Now, my personal preference is an angle so you can get more of the room, but I can tell they like the single point, so go with that. This is what I prefer, which is just angles of the room. Now, this edit shows a little bit of what I'm talking about. Like, they selected out this roof, unselected the fan, and then made this thing stark white. This is not that white. Now, the room may look like that. There is no light in this room other than what's coming from here. So, once again, the editors did pretty good. I could tell they have edited out a bunch of different things. Nice front image. Let's do a big click. All right. Yeah. Shows the little parts of the room. Okay, so here is a vertical mishap. That's what I was talking about before. So see how it looks like you're falling over when you do this. So as a photographer, I know you're trying to show off this nice floor, but let's raise our camera up so this vertical is good. It does not have to be perfect. I know I'm talking crazy right now for some of you other photographers in the world, but verticals do not have to be as strict as you are telling people, but they need to be better than this. So So this is this might just be an agent with their phone and they just came in and took some pictures. But so here's why I don't think it's a phone though. They have this image in an aspect ratio that's not indicative to an iPhone, so maybe it's like a lesser phone, or just they've changed the aspect ratio for some reason. I'm not sure why they would do that, but yeah. So the front pictures are nice, shows all the amenities, but then you get inside and lose interest. So this could use a little bit of help, and also you can tell like it's got detailed issues. You can't tell very much about it. Let's go to random. And I mean, so some of these houses, they're all under 300,000. So I mean, the agent may not be making as much commission as they would like to spend. So maybe they can't get the really good photo. So let's go to the same area, but raise the price up and see if we can find something that's more amazing. Or let's take a look and see. So $5.5 million, and it's a Tudor, and let's take a look at this. Big click. So for $5 million, I can't even do the math, but the agent, based on national average of 3%, I'm just gonna throw out that they're getting like $150,000 if they sell this home. And so you can afford to spend $3,000 or $4,000 on marketing and make everything look the best it possibly can. You can hire the top photographer in your area to take pictures of this, and they should be doing a full package: photo, video, walkthroughs, Matterports, agent on camera, agent off camera, highlight reel. You should be throwing social media money into this and doing all the things. But so far it looks like, well, you did a Matterport, so that's good. Maybe this is all done on Matterport. We will take a look later here in just a second. So I guess I'm just confused on why the twilight that's not a twilight is the first picture. I mean, this picture shows off more of the things than the other. I don't know. I'm just upset that a better twilight than it should be. So let's go through this. Okay, so they have this first picture, which the blinds should be open. There are extenuating circumstances sometimes, and the photographer has already left. They've gone outside. They've closed everything up. We don't know the situation. But drone at night, it could be better. Maybe they just don't have the best drone. But once again, you should be hiring, like, as an agent, let's take a look at this photo, realize that it's kind of dark and there's a little bit of movement in the photo. Maybe you should hire somebody with a bigger, better drone to retake this photo. Okay. And now we're getting into historical documents about the house, which I think is awesome. But let's put this stuff in the house and get them there or at the back of these photos to attract more attention, especially when you're going back and forth. Like, here's where you do things, and there's a picture of people not in that spot, I'm guessing. I mean, you have those trees and everything, but this, like, the dock is gone. So is this a previous picture? Because that's not there. These are my questions. So the dock is there again. Is this like a movable dock? Do you bring it out whenever things... This is a great view of this, but they need to do some kind of indication where the house actually is. Otherwise, you won't know. Okay. We are inside, and let's deconstruct these things. So there's a little bit of noise in these photos, which I can't tell. You can kind of see through the window, so that would tell me that it's not really... Once again, I think they're just taking it on their iPhones. Like, this is an iPhone on a tripod. I don't understand why these higher end homes... it's not an iPhone on a tripod. But, I mean, they're not using... Maybe they are using flash. Like, this one seems to have a little bit of color brought back into it. This is the best photo of the whole thing. So maybe they're more high-end than I think. All right. They may just... Oh, this one's confusing to me. Yeah, they may be using a flash, but in a confusing way. Okay, so I'm pretty sure they're using a flash to light this up. But it's still just single shot. We're going back to the single point perspective. This is nice. Everything is nice, level. It's a little off down here, but nobody's going to notice that. I think they're going back and forth between professional images and non-professional images. I'm not sure. We'll try and see in a reflection somewhere if that's a cool staircase. If we can catch the telltale signs of... See how this picture looks completely different? Yeah. For some reason, I feel like they're going back and forth. There were two photographers. They're on the same day. Something has happened. No, we're not going to catch... So I think they're... Okay, so here's what I think it is. I think they're going back and forth between a professional photographer taking photos and then extracting some of those images from the Matterport. And here's why I'm saying that. So professional cameras have a little bit different of a look. It's a cleaner look. Let's go to someplace else so we can point this out. And hopefully we're going back to good old day for night Twilight. It's probably the same exact editor. But here we go. So the cleanliness of this photo. This is how crisp and clear everything should be looking in that Tudor house. And how all the crisp lines, and by crisp, I mean there's no like blur to them. It's the only way I can think to put it. Like if you're looking through a shower glass window is the effect that it kind of has. This house, oh, well, I mean, they threw up some verticals. They could have done this a different way. So this is perfect. This is a perfect example. We are going to completely switch topics. We're going on a rant again. Okay, so let's look and see. We were going great. Here's why I don't like vertical images, except for maybe showing off a shower head that is 10 feet in the air and there's no other way to show it off. We were going great, all the same direction. And then all of a sudden, we threw in this, which this may be the only case for this to actually be there, but you'd be able to see it from a different angle if you just stepped back. So this is showing 90% that it's good. And you'll be able to see it when you move back. So let's just move back. Then they just threw in a vertical. But let's keep this vertical theme going and go on both sides. And then you showed it over here in a vertical, but you didn't need to show it in a vertical here because you have the horizontal view that's the exact same view. So why even throw in the vertical and make people, their brains don't like this. Stop doing this. This may have been a request by the agent for the photographer, but as a photographer, if you can see the entire roof from where you are, you don't need to go vertical in that shot. It almost makes it look like it's just a weird crop. Like this makes it look like, oh, where's the rest of this image? And then they click here. Oh, there's the rest of the image. And then you keep going, but then you threw that again. Like we already saw it. We know this has got huge beams and this light goes all the way up. We saw it right here. We just saw it. So you don't need to show a vertical of that. This is just a pet peeve of mine because it is used incorrectly for verticals. Let's see if they did it somewhere else. Otherwise, this is pretty textbook as far as now. I don't know the one only thing. I don't know what color these lights are. Let me show you. So these lights right now have a little bit of an orange tint to them with brass up here. Do you see this? So let's go back to this image. Now that orange tint is gone. So I'm not sure if these lights are orange or these daylight. Why did you do that? That is an editor issue. Also, these beams have changed color. Right here, the beam is orange. I know that's close to the light. Let's go to something else. So beams, orange, nice. And then you come in here. These beams are grayish. Which one's the right color? I don't know. They need to stop doing that. Okay, but these are the little things that you need to be looking for. Otherwise, I mean, there's zero complaints about these images. This camera, the photographer, the editor is doing their job. Hopefully they're very consistent. I mean, this house is definitely whiter than it should be. This house does not look this white, and it's probably not this bright, but it gets the point across, and I understand where they're coming from. So let's move on to the next one. Actually, we'll end it there on this good note, because this is a good image, and well, I just noticed they have bled their color, so we're ending it on a weird spot. Okay, let's end it there. If you liked what you heard, leave a comment down below on if you want me to check out your listing as a agent, broker, photographer, or editor. Other than that, then I hope this is helping, and I'll do more of these soon. I am Steven with Steven Photos. You guys have a great day.
Did I miss something? Put it in the comments below. Let me know.